is a blend 50% Barbera, 30% Merlot, 18 Nebbiolo, and 2 Cabernet Sauvignon. It is from Piedmont, so surprise, surprise, there is Barbera and Nebbiolo in here. These are two of the main grape varieties grown in the area, Barbera being the most blended throughout. Dolcetto is the third major red grape variety in Piedmont. I believe Dolcetto translates to treat, but that's often referred to as Little Sweet One, which I think is really cute and fitting. Those of you who may be into Italian wines, when I say Piedmont, automatically think Barolo, or if you're like me, Barbaresco. Yes, these are wonderful, wonderful wines, but the one I want to share with you today is from a more broad appellation, Longrosso. Piedmont, by the way, is in northwestern Italy, if you're not familiar with the geography. So let's go ahead, open the bottle, have a little drink, then we will get into nerding out over the details of Piedmont. Bottle was a little bit damaged, so I'm just going to take a look and see how the wine smells and tastes first. Okay, I think it just sustained a little minor fall to it. Honestly, it smells good. Cork doesn't smell like there's any kind of taint. It doesn't smell like it's oxidized or batterized at all. So I think we're all good. Great. So this producer, Lo Sopalayo, they've been around since the late 1800s. They produce all their wines without any use of herbicides. They instead utilize techniques of planting other crop as a means for pest control. The grapes are harvested by hand, and they really like to take their time to ensure that everything that goes into the product is really great quality. And we will go ahead and taste. I was going to have some nice pecorino cheese to talk about with this wine, but when I looked today, we ate all of it, so we're going to go ahead and have some Comté cheese with it, which is French, but that's okay. Comté cheese comes from the Franche-Comté region of France. It's in the is a large region that contains many different wine growing zones. Here, let me pull up a map. So here is Piedmont. Whoop. There we go. Here's Piedmont. And you can see it borders Switzerland up here and France, which is all right here, with the small Val d'Aosta on its northwestern border. There is all sorts of wine produced here: red, white, rosé, sweet, dry, sparkling, still everything. Most people think of, as I mentioned earlier, Barolo, which is produced from the Nebbiolo grape, a grape that is part of the blend of this wine. Now, Nebbiolo has multiple names. In certain areas of Piedmont, they call it Spana. So, Catinara and Gemme in the Vercelli and Novara provinces, respectively, often use the name Spana for Nebbiolo. Their laws allow for a portion of other varieties to be blended with Nebbiolo, whereas Barolo and Barbaresco must be 100% Nebbiolo. Barbaresco actually used to require specific clones of Nebbiolo, though this is no longer the case. It is similar to how in Tuscany or Toscana we have Brunello di Montalcino, which is produced from Brunello, which is a Sangiovese clone. So the wine we're drinking now is from the Longa DOC. It is a rosso, meaning red, and wines labeled Longa Rosso are permitted to use any proportion of authorized grape varieties in the blend, as opposed to, say, Long Dolcetto. For example, that has to be a minimum of 85% Dolcetto. With the Rosso, they can do any proportion of any authorized grape varieties, so that's how we get a blend like this one. Now, there's a lot of winemakers who, while they produce high-end wines with very strict laws, enjoy releasing experimental wines under these loose, less intensely regulated appellations. It allows them to have fun, and I love these wines because you can easily find something new, and it's very easy to find a really good quality wine without spending an insane amount of money. This is really good with the cheese. Well, let me tell you a bit about the grapes now. One thing we talk about a lot with Barbera is its low tannins. By the way, if you want to learn how to kind of think about the tannins when you're tasting, is that texture on your gums. Sometimes it can be really gripping, sometimes it is really silky, but that's what we're looking for in the mouth when we're talking about the tannins. And stark difference, from Nebbiolo, but Barbera actually has very high acidity levels, so in that way they do have a similarity. And wines made 100% from Barbera show these kind of purple and blue tones. Well, this one, because of the other varieties in it, is more red. There actually is a bit of the kind of garnet tone I'm noticing from the Nebbiolo in it. But again, the Barbera, more of that purple blue tone. There's berry and floral notes, dried herbs. They're very pretty wines. I love it for spring and summertime. The has a heavier body than Barbera, more tannin, and not necessarily as much acidity. The grape brings a lot of blue and red fruit characteristics to the wine. It also has floral and herb notes to it, and is often aged in oak, just as this wine was. I believe this one was about 18 months in French oak. Then there's, again, Nebbiolo. About that 18% Nebbiolo in here, and this grape is one of the greats. It's intense, it ages wonderfully. Depending on production style, it can be very drinkable, even young, and it is just so